Hello, I'm Jillian Livingston, and I am the founder of Aspen Your Life and Aspen Business Connect. And today is just an extremely special day for me to introduce you to Heather Stone. Heather is an incredible person who's been in my life for quite some time now. I was so in awe of Heather when we first met that we did a Women Empowering Women Business Connect event, and sadly, we had a really wonderful event set up where people could be intimate and close up and personal with Heather, and that got shut down, and we had to do it online for in 2020. It was in March of 2020. COVID.
Right.
So Heather is so many things. She's a motivational speaker. She is a former fintech executive turned 9-figure entrepreneur, which I don't think I've ever been able to say that on my interviews. And she and her husband sold one of their fintech businesses, more than one of their fintech businesses. And now Heather and her husband they live in Aspen, which has been a dream of hers. And she's on to her next venture. And I'm going to let Heather talk about it, but she has a Mentors and Moguls Podcast, which I have been binge watching. You can watch it, its videos as well as sound. And she interviews the most incredible professionals who all have a story to tell about their process to get where they are today. And so here I am introducing you to Heather Stone. Hi, Heather.
Hi, Jillian. Thank you. It's fun to be with you.
And not usual for you to be on the other side of the interview, but exciting for me to be allowing you to talk about yourself for once. So
yeah, I don't like to do that, but I will do it for you. So
thank you. I'm honored. So tell us, just to start from, I don't want to go back first. I want to start about talking about your new series this season.
Oh, sure.
I did just listen to the first one this morning, which I loved, and I'm not going to butcher her last name. But so tell us about your interview with Stephanie.
Okay, so Stephanie Shostak, she is an actress. She's been in so many films that we've seen that are top of mind. You know, Devil Wears Prada. She's been in Dinner for Schmucks, Iron Man 3, and she was one of the major stars of the hit TV series of A Million Little Things, so on and so on and so on. She's got credits a mile long. So she has worked with so many amazing people, which if you tune into the Mentors and Moguls podcast, you can watch her on the YouTube channel, or you can just listen wherever you listen to podcasts and learn all about her. And she shows great vulnerability, and we have a great conversation. So it was fun.
Well, and that's why I love introducing your first podcast of the season, because it really hones in on how she feels she's a successful actress, but she feels that she's on the outside of things. And that's what you tap into. You tap into people. It's goal crushing.
Yes.
One element of it is goal crushing. So no matter how successful we all are, we feel blocked in some way to keep going. And you have this way with people that helps them to see how they're blocking their ways and how they shouldn't feel like they're on the outside of things. What do you think is a common denominator in most of your podcasts?
Well, most of my through line for the podcast is really giving mentorship from people from all walks of life. So we've got people that are killers on Wall Street. We have stay-at-home moms that are now earning 5 times more than they did when they were feeling lost, confused, overwhelmed, and is this all there is? We have women that are looking for a second act and reinventing themselves, finding love, losing weight, getting healthy and happier than they've ever been. And then pro athletes, Olympic stars, you name it. We've got a wide variety of people, but the through line for everyone is, what were your obstacles? Everyone thinks they see you at the top. They see you getting that Super Bowl ring. They see you getting a gold medal. They see you, ringing the bell, on Wall Street when the stock market opens, but they have no idea the grit, the sweat, the grind that it took you and all of the setbacks that you went through to get to that point. They just see you when you're a shining star. So I wanted people to be able to relate and say, if I'm feeling blocked, or if I feel like I grew up in a trailer park, I know nobody, I have no money, I have no connections. This was someone I just interviewed last night, so I'm giving it away. His name is Rory.
Sorry, what's his name?
His name is Rory, and that's coming out in a few weeks. Grew up in a trailer park. He's on his second business. He's wildly successful. He's an 8-figure entrepreneur, and he's a lovely guy. But I've got story after story of people that have overcome crazy, wild obstacles where you can say, you don't have a chance. Just sit back and settle for this kind of job, or settle back and you're never going to get your dreams because you just don't have those connections. You don't have the funds. You don't have the whatever it is. And so week after week, we prove that no matter what your circumstance is or where you come from, there is a way. And let you take a peek into almost you're a fly on the wall in our private conversations with people in my network saying, how did you do it? People break down and cry. I've had major football stars break down and cry and tell me how difficult it was and things that nobody ever knows. And then, they rise to the top. So it's really empowering for people to see, oh, if they can do it, I can do it. And it's men and women alike, because the advice is free and it's really valuable. So I'm happy to bring that to people.
I'm so excited to be announcing a never before offered retreat, Unplug and Rejuvenate 2023. It's an intimate masterclass and workshop retreat held at the famous all-inclusive wellness resort and spa, Miraval, Arizona. This will be held January 2023. Come and join me as we nourish your mind, your body, and your soul, and we set intentions for the new year. You'll walk away with so much more, and most importantly, will help you get over some of those stumbling blocks that keep you stuck where you are and give you a roadmap on how to make 2023 your best year yet. It is an intimate masterclass workshop with special guest Dr. Celine and French-American actress Stephanie Shostak. If you're interested, go to heatherrstone.com/rejuvenate 2023 for more details and to sign up now. There is limited availability, and I can't wait to meet you there.
I think that the most authentic part of it all is that you've lived it.
Yes.
You got to where you are today. You've earned this.
Yes.
I mean, we're sitting here in your beautiful home in this super cool studio that you would never know existed in your house that you created. And so talk about, if I hear someone talking about manifesting their lives, I want to hear it from someone who's done it.
Yes.
And you're right. People might look at you and think, oh, she's got it all. But how did you get here? It was sweat equity a lot. With your husband by your side, and still by your side.
Didn't do it alone.
Yeah, you didn't do it alone. And so your focus has always been primarily on women and people that have made it and their success stories. And you do, I love what you say that you do bring in men too, because we can learn so much from both sexes. And so I like that you're incorporating everybody into your podcast. You have this big list of people that you've interviewed. Do you feel comfortable with just telling us who some of these people are? Because I want them to realize the magnitude of where you are right now in your life.
Oh my gosh. Well, I'll give you just a couple, kind of give you a wide variety. So we've got TJ Lang. So he's won several Super Bowl rings. He's a great story. He's a great success story. He played for the Detroit Lions, and he also was one of the stars and very outspoken now as a broadcaster. He played for the Packers, the Green Bay Packers. So he's got a great angle. I've got Dara Torres, who is a 12-time Olympian medalist in swimming. I don't know if you know her story, but if you don't know her story, she started when she was very young, in her late teens in the Olympics, shattered records. Well, guess what? She went on 5 times she's been in the Olympics. She medaled every single time. Every single time. But her last Olympics was after she had a child and she was 41 competing with 16, 17, and 18-year-olds. So there's a story there. And she's an amazing person. And
see, I hear a story like that, and I think that woman was born an achiever. She was born with that deep personality that is going to get what she she knows what she wants and she's going to go for it.
You might be surprised when you listen to her. She reveals some things that she hasn't revealed all the time. A couple people know about it, but she had some major setbacks and she had some dark times. So that part was kind of fun. And then let's go over to, I've got another woman. She was kind of the creator of Title IX and standing up for women in New York and all the colleges on the East Coast. And then, of course, it spread throughout the nation. People have her to thank for a lot of the rules and protection, and she's got a criminal justice background. It's crazy, but wonderful. And the amount of people that she's helped through her life is amazing. I mean, the list kind of goes on and on. Dr. Ashish Jha, right in the beginning of the pandemic, he's now the coronavirus spokesperson in the White House. So he's on telling his thoughts. And that's kind of fascinating because even now, if you go back and you watch the interview with him, I asked him, I did a lot of research, I asked him very pointed questions. And if you recall now how things played out with kids going back to school, when did things open, when did things close, he nailed it. He nailed it. And he's not an epidemiologist, but he's a very smart man and a very well-spoken man.
We need to
that's
go
interesting.
back
You
and
need to
listen
go back.
to everything.
Yes.
And I don't want you to play favorites, but I do know who was one of your favorite ones. And Formula One.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you love athletic endeavors, but that race car driving seems to be one of your main passions.
I'll be down in the pit. So as soon as I can break free, I'll be back traveling around and down in the pit. So Will Buxton, if you have ever watched, if you don't even like Formula One, it's okay. Because there's a Netflix series that came out a few years ago, and he is one of the stars as a commentator of this series. He's British, very cheeky guy, and very fun. I've seen him at many races around the world. We keep bumping into each other, and he's a great interview because he gives you kind of the inside track on what's going on behind a lot of the drivers. There's only 20 in the world, right?
Really?
Yeah, there's only 20 drivers. I mean, that's a whole nother story, but I love Formula One. I like girly things too, but I love Formula One. That's really, the whole scene is just very fun. It's a big party and it's a lot of fun and a lot of adrenaline. I like that. So yes, Will Buxton is a great interview.
So how do you find these people? I mean, are you an avid football fan? I mean, race car driving, it seems you love that sport. So I can see you having a purpose to get there and get, in front of them and saying, can I interview you? But all these other people you're interviewing, do you seek them out? How does it all happen?
So a lot of people are in my network. A lot of the women, I know I've talked about men, but there are actually more women than men. And that really is my focus, is to highlight the success stories that no one has heard about the women. I mean, when you think about the public speakers that are women that are accomplished, and I don't just mean by money, because money, quite frankly, doesn't drive me, and I really don't care about money. I like nice things, but I don't care about it past a certain point. But women that have really done things, whether they're very giving or they've created a movement or done something positive for someone else, right? So I've sought out a lot of these women. I'll interview someone and they'll say, I've got a friend that you need to meet. But most of these people are friends of mine now, and they're in my network. And it's been really fun. So this season's lineup, we just broke yesterday. So this season's lineup, we air every Wednesday, a new episode drops. I'm so excited for this season because we just keep getting even more interesting and exciting guests. They're all exciting in their own way, but it's a lot of fun. I have a good time with it. So there are people that I actually admire or I know or I want to know. And they know about me. And if they don't know about me, then they figure it out and they are nice enough to share their time with me. So I love it.
What a bomber network you have.
I know, and I keep in touch with them. So I do keep in touch with them. And that is the great part about it. So my network is wonderfully exciting and I cherish every relationship and I love people.
Yeah, and I think that's what drew me in immediately is you're so authentic and real and curious, and that's why you're perfectly situated in what you're doing. Before your podcast, I don't know if you started this before you sold your business, but you were leading these immersion retreats. Talk about those, because I think that is that's for the people that really, I'm just assuming you're feeling that these people, they need to break out of themselves.
Yes.
And so they need a challenge to show that they're bigger than they think they are. But tell us about your base camp retreats.
Okay. So the retreats are something new, very new recently. So I was working for the last 30 years, working like everyone else, doing the grind, crazy. The end of my career, I was traveling, 250, 300 days a year, working as hard as I could to build a company with my husband and do my part to contribute. So my schedule was very grueling. But about, I'd say 15 years ago now, I decided that around my birthday every year, just to counterbalance the thought of you're this age, so you shouldn't be doing these kinds of things anymore, or it's too late. And I said, I'm not that person. And I said, I'm not going to sit still for this. I'm going to go do something that scares me in some way. And it's not always a physical challenge. I used to be terrified of public speaking. I mean, terrified. I did it all the time for work. And that was a challenge a long time ago. I'm going to speak in front of, and the audience that I spoke in front of, our clients, were very impressive. So it was a very daunting thing if you're terrified of public speaking. And it was technical. I was in the tech and the finance industry. I knew my stuff. It took a while to get my footing. And then once I got it, it was fine, right? But so I tried different things, running a marathon. Can I run a marathon? Well, it's a long way. I don't know. Do I need to? No, but I did. So I would do something every year that would terrify me on some level and set a goal. And then I would go after it. So fast forward to several years ago, and a lot of friends and people that I would meet would say, excuse me, but did I just hear that you just climbed Kilimanjaro? Yes. What? Why did you do that? And so I would tell them a little bit about it. And then they would say, I would like to go on your next adventure with you. I said, well, it's just for me. So I finally opened it up because I had enough people saying I want to go. So I finally opened it up. And so the first one that I opened to the public and taking a small group of selected women with me was leading a group of women up to Mount Everest Base Camp. So 3 weeks in the Himalayas. The thing is that I'm not a mountain climber. They weren't mountain climbers. You can't be an aficionado at this thing. It has to be something so far outside of your comfort zone that you don't have your partner with you because you can't lean on anybody. It's you and nobody else. So you have to train on your own, which is a whole mental process. You have to plan, and you really have to dig deep because when you get in certain situations, as we did on Everest, it's you and your team of gals that are with you, and that's it. So that's what makes it interesting. So I have continued on, and now I'm having my first immersion retreat that is a goal setting, is really an intention setting retreat. And so I'm taking my formula that I've been using year after year, and I'm sharing it in a masterclass workshop style setting. So when everyone walks away from this retreat, it's 3.5 days. When they walk away from the retreat, they're going to know exactly where they're going in 2023. They'll have a roadmap. How do I get there? What are the steps? And then I will be helping to coach them through the entire year, just to help them, to show them that they can do it. They're made of more of what they are. And I like to say they're going to tap into their inner warrior. And then you're going to skyrocket, because that's what happens to women when they come on these things, is that they come home and they say, I've been holding myself back and I've been miserable, and why not? And they go for it, and they're like, I'm happier than I've ever been. Yes, you had it in you. You just needed someone to give you a little nudge.
I mean, it's amazing how we get so set in our ways, and we think we're very much in tune with ourselves, and we're not. And this retreat is not base camp at Everest. This is at Miraval in Arizona.
Yes.
It's going to be a beautiful spa.
Stephanie
Stephanie
Shostak, the actor, she's coming. She's a special guest. I have a few special guests. Some are announced, some aren't announced. We have Dr. Celine is coming, and she's got her own med spa, and that is really watering down. She is one of the top rated doctors. She's kind of like a female Doogie Howser. She got her medical degree and was running the ER in a major hospital when we were still trying to figure out how to order a drink at a bar. So she's amazing. And then we've got some other great things that are going to happen there. So You're not going to be dirty. You're not going to be sleeping in a tent. You're not going to be starving and freezing and wondering if you can take one more step. You're going to get luxury spa treatments. There's going to be a spiritual aspect to it. If people want to tap into that, we do have some special surprises with that. But when you come back, you really are going to feel rejuvenated. You're going to feel very grounded, and you're going to know exactly what you need to do to fulfill your year's goals or your year's intentions.
And it's not just specific to business. It can be anything.
Anything.
And it's in January of 2023. So
January.
but your spots are filling up. So people need to get on to your heatherrstone.com to learn more about it. And I do encourage everyone, because you have to see the video and to really see what's involved. I don't know of any other retreat like that where they're going to have somebody like you that's really going to guide them along the way. So I think that's really exciting. And it seems to me that you're really, like, you just keep growing and growing. You've got this amazing podcast reveal for this season. And tell me what you told me when we were walking up to the studio. You said that you have, you're just so excited and passionate about your work. But you're excited about this season, but also all the new interviews that you're going in. You keep climbing that mountain, right?
Yes. So the guests, all of my guests are wonderful in their own way, but I am attracting some wonderful guests, some which I never thought I would, be sitting here and having conversations with, which is great because their stories are fascinating. So my circle is broadening. Let's put it that way. And I think it's the law of attraction, because this is really shining a spotlight on my guests. It's not shining a spotlight on me. And my whole intention with this is to help other people realize their full potential and stop doubting themselves so much, because I know what that's like, right? And really, I love it when everyone has that aha moment. And if you can help someone through giving advice and access to someone that they could never have access to, and they're sitting there riding their bike, listening to a podcast, and someone says something and it clicks. I can't tell you how many emails I get. I listened to that interview and I was having a really tough time. I was really struggling how to get past this thing. And when I heard that person say X, Y, and Z, that's the answer I needed. That's great. That is what I love to do. So yes, the guests are exciting.
It's almost that it's to the left of center, and you just click it all into place. And not only will they be experiencing you, but talking about your bomber network, these people that are coming, they're running up to sign up because they know you, they know who they're going to be amongst within this retreat.
Yes.
It's going to be a powerful group of people, whether it's the people, you and your team guiding everyone, or the people that are attending.
Yes, so it won't just be me. I'm never the one to stand up on stage and say, look at me. I've got all the answers. I do have some. So I will contribute, of course, and I'll be leading it. But the women that are sitting in the audience, these are women that you would think don't need a retreat. They need it more than ever. They're guiding companies, or they're breaking out and they're solopreneurs, or they've been a mom for a long time and they said, I'm in a rotten relationship, or I need to change something about myself. I need to know, I don't know how. I know there's more in me. I just don't know what to do with it. Or maybe someone wants to launch their own company. But it doesn't have to be. You could lose weight. I want to be happier. I want to go down the left path instead of the right path. You don't have to be a corporate person trying to get a leg up. But the people that you'll meet that are coming, you're going to be happy. Like, you're going to say, okay, Heather's great, but wow, I met this woman who just lit me on fire. She told me her story, and the networking possibilities are endless. So and there's a lot.
It'll continue. The relationships
will
grow
continue
once they leave the retreat. Okay, so I know we're not supposed to go back, but you've done so much. I do want to talk about how you financially support, promote, and grow programs in the areas of STEM, mentorship, and innovation. So let's tap into that.
Oh gosh. Okay, I'll try and. So STEM, coming from tech and finance, STEM is a big deal. So we've been supporting through our companies, we've been supporting STEM for middle-aged youth. I primarily focus on girls, but boys are there as well, and helping them with programs all throughout the United States. And some interesting things have happened. We also have design thinking programs that we have contributed and partnered up with. So those things, if you know anything about design thinking for young children, it really sets you up. I wish I had it when I was younger. It gives you a community problem that they choose, and they figure out a solution, and then they have to present it. And it's a worldwide situation where there's a competition, and the schools get money, and the kids get to go fly across the world and compete with their ideas. And there's so much to say, but I will say that catching kids when they're in middle school makes a really impactful difference. So STEM is a big deal. So I like to contribute to STEM and make sure that girls are continuing on and being engineers. And I work with some of the auto companies. They've been my guests, and they will come back. Some of the leading women and their engineers. And it's amazing that there's even aviation where they're looking for smart girls, because women coming out of college have a certain set of attributes, and they tackle problems in the engineering department that are very different than males. And something very interesting is happening with the big three automakers. I won't give it away, but girls are pretty good at it, and they're highly sought after. So I'm trying to say, gals, if you want to stand on your own 2 feet, look at STEM, look at the sciences, look at engineering. It might sound boring. It's actually pretty darn fascinating, and it's in everything from fashion to medical to aviation, so forth and so on. So I'm a big component of that, and so is my husband. So
who knows where you have the time for all of that? You have so much going on where you're giving back in so many ways. You're as you said to me before, you like to serve.
Yes,
it's a big part of who you are. So now let's move on to Capstone Holdings.
So Capstone Holdings is a family business, and we just have different investments. But one of the big things that I think you're alluding to is we have Game Above Capital, which falls under Capstone Holdings. And Game Above Capital, we have a fund for women and minority business owners that are in the sustainability business. So that's another great place. And that's not just my idea. That's also my husband. He's a big cheerleader for equality. He's a big cheerleader for the underdog. So he's been a great inspiration, and he's actually been a great catalyst for a lot of these programs. So for me to sit here and say I did it myself is absolutely not true. He's actually a phenomenal visionary. And so I have to credit him with this. But yes, so it's a great effort, I think, for us to contribute and help lift other people up. We care about the planet. We said, this half of our lives, we care about sustainability. So we're into, electric vehicles. We're into autonomous vehicles. We're into clean water. We're into anything sustainability. Making things out of different products, making things out of hemp instead of making things out of steel or plastic or anything else that can, that's not biodegradable into our earth. That's exciting to us, and I can go on and on. But if it helps the earth and sustainability and people's quality of life, then we're interested.
We need more power couples like the two of you in that world. But look, we're so lucky you're right here in Aspen, which leads me to let people know that on September 15th we're doing a talk at Here House Club.
Yes.
It's at the end of the summer, but we'll let you know about it. Don't worry. But I think that. The best thing you can do right now to get to know Heather more is to visit heatherrstone.com. That's STON as in Nancy.com. And you'll find the Mentors and Moguls podcast. Follow her on her Instagram. It's Heather R. Stone everywhere, isn't it?
Heather R. Stone Official.
Instagram.
Yes.
And so they can follow you there and make sure to visit you on Wednesdays to hear the latest release of your podcast. And then to check out the Miraval retreat in January. But
yes.
They better do it fast because you're filling up fast. You don't have that many slots available. So
yes, but it will be fun. I really want to make, I want to make room for as many people that can come. But yes, please sign up right away. And it's going to be a good time. There are going to be a lot of surprises and bonuses that aren't in the website. I like to give, so it'll be a fun time.
But it's not going to be, it's 35 to 50 people?
Yes.
It's not hundreds of people. It's very intimate.
It's intimate. Everyone gets one-on-one. And I want to get to know the people.
Yeah.
And, if you have too many people, you can't it just becomes speaking at people, and I want to speak with people. And
so what have I missed? Let's see. Tell us. I was listening to so many of your podcasts, and I was thinking, do I ask her what her guilty pleasures are? What's something that you want to share with our audience? It tells us a little bit more about you as a person. I mean, we know that you challenge yourself. You do things that, I mean, I think that my biggest challenge was raising my 3 boys. And
that's pretty tough.
Miraval would be more up my alley to
right.
just get some pampering, but also to remove myself. But all right, let me just ask you to make it easier. You don't have to tell us your guilty pleasures, but what are you most excited about being in Aspen?
I love Aspen. Well, I've had a lot of people don't know this, so I've already had 2 retreats here. They've been invitation only, and we've done hikes, we've done roundtables with some really interesting and very well established women in a lot of different fields. And I like to do that. I like to put on dinners and intimate gatherings with women and really discuss what topics are affecting women and what can we do to affect change. And then I can maybe incorporate some of that into my efforts somewhere in some small way. I can contribute or partner up with someone and contribute in some small way. But Aspen, I love. I'm getting back into skiing. So I love that because I grew up skiing in Colorado. I love fly fishing. I like hiking, obviously. I like biking.
That builds you up so you can keep doing your good work.
Yes.
So it's good that you're here. And you came from Florida, right? So you're back and forth to Florida?
I'm a few places, yeah. We're coast to coast a few places. So I'm not here full time. But Aspen that was something that I manifested. And it was very interesting. I manifested Aspen happening in a time when I think, oh, that's never going to happen in your life. So I'm pretty happy about that.
Well, you're an inspiration. How do people get a hold of you if they want to maybe collaborate with you or maybe do one of these dinner parties with you facilitating? How do they get a hold of you?
So if you go to heatherrstone.com, there's a contact page, and you can fill out a form of contact there and get more information, and that will come to my team, and they'll get a hold of me. We talk every day. You can DM me on Instagram if you really want to. So Heather R. Stone Official, you can find me there. And of course, now I'm at your house, so you can tap into me there, or just tap into Jillian and she'll get a hold of me somewhere.
And she's also an Aspen Business Connect member. So on AspenRealLife.com, you can find Heather under the business directory. So great. There are many ways you can reach her.
Yes, I love making new friends, and Aspen everyone has just been so nice here. And the food is fantastic. So my guilty pleasure is going out to nice dinners. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to lie. So you and I have had a few nice dinners.
I was treated to your guilty pleasure.
Yes.
It's been so fun for me. And we have more coming. It's my turn.
It's super fun.
Oysters and white wine comes.
Oh, okay. Yeah. There we go.
Well, I'm so glad to be able to talk to you and get your story, Heather. And I'm so looking forward to all the things that we are talking about and doing more together, and would love to bring you to my audience, but you are getting to the core of Aspen very quickly, and so you'll be surrounded by, you're going to attract all the right people, and I'm so glad we're so lucky to have you here. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you, Jillian. My pleasure.